Hey, my name's Chris. This is Newcastle Music Studios, and today I'm going to do a quick basic reviews, pros, cons, difficulties, and whether or not you want to buy an Epiphone 12-string Songmaker DR-D212. If I said that right, DR-212 12-string full-body acoustic. Now, looking at this thing real quickly, I did add for $10 the PIEZO with the little pickup, and there's the quarter wrench right here. $10. I did that in literally like 15 minutes. The price of these beauties comes in right under $300, between $280 and $289. You're gonna see that on Amazon, Reverb, Guitar Center, all that kind of stuff. I've always wanted to own and dabble in the art of the 12-string guitar. It had been sitting there a while. It all came stock strings, stock tuning, everything stock. But really, there's not much there to start with. It's an acoustic guitar. So, less than $300. Epiphone makes it. DR-212 Songmaker full body. That's that. That's the price, where you can get it, all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the pros and the cons, the things that I've noticed. Now, I had played the $100 and $120, I don't know if it was like Dreadnought or Van Gogh, Amazon 12 strings. I had dabbled in those and watched videos. And there was some issues with the action on those guitars where, for example, if you're playing like on the G string here on A, for example, that when you would do that, it would hit somewhere down here on the fretboard. Now, if you ever see that, you're gonna see it usually in $100 guitars, and it's very poor milling. Sometimes it's a bent or a warped neck, and then the bone or the pickup or whatever, the saddle, excuse me, is not high enough for the action in general, etc., etc. I don't build guitars, so sometimes when I say these words, I confuse myself. But point I'm trying to make here is you don't have that with this guitar. Let's just say I played A minor, standard tuning, pentatonic. I would play right. That was a flat pick. I do alternate picking. However, with this thing, I've been having some difficulty, not because of the guitar. So if you do alternate picking and you're pretty good on your 6th string, it may take a while to get the alternate picking down on your 12 string, because there are certain things you cannot do with your fingers because there's 2 strings there that you can do normally with a normal 6 string. The main thing I do want to point out with a 12 string, or if you've never played 12 string and you're considering it, is the C major chord, which for whatever reason, when I'm playing that, my chunky fingers are touching the G. Now, I don't normally ever have that, or even remember having that on my normal 6th string, but that, eventually, I'll straighten my fingers out. But really, that's the only chord where you have difficulty, where because there's 2 strings on every one there, that you may have some difficult issues with. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. When I was in the guitar shop, the guy was like, well, of course, when you're looking at the Epiphone, the top there, and again, I added, like I said, the PIEZO. It is made in Asia. I do like the top where the tuning tuners are, tuner keys, tuning keys. I think I call them tuning keys. Call them whatever you want to call them. Obviously, it's going to be much, much taller. It's a big guitar, so consider that. So the first thing the dude in the guitar store says, it's a laminate top. What does that mean? It means it's equivalent to a very thin piece of plywood. Why does that matter? It matters because instead of having a single piece of wood like maple or something, when it's a single piece of wood, it vibrates acoustically to the extent you hear more shimmer. So like this would be a good way to compare it. take my thumb. It's very dull, right? I'm gonna play a D major here. Now I'm gonna play the D major with the back of my fingernail. So you can hear there was a little more shimmer because this is a harder surface. This is even harder. It's a guitar pick. D major again. Thumb, pick, G major, pick, thumb. So there's a difference. So basically the dude in the guitar store is saying, look, the way this works is there's slightly less acoustic shimmer. If you can live with that, great. Just electrify it. And I said, yeah, I'll just electrify it. Now that may seem to some of you guys like sacrilege or counterproductive or whatever, counterintuitive. That's fine. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. As am I entitled to my opinion. So it is not like a full body or whatever, or it's not a one-piece top. It's a laminate. Consider the build quality and the wood quality. Otherwise, is like I said, it's the stain they used and everything. I think it's quite pretty. I'm not huge on the blonde. I would prefer the whole thing to be this color. But again, I could always sand it down and stain it myself. I won't, but I could. And then the strings are all stock. And I do believe the strings are a little bit older. I think this guitar was sitting in there about 5 or 6 months. So it would be a little bit brighter than this. Consider that because the strings would be brand new. As far as the tuners go, they're pretty good. They all pop right into place. And again, we're dealing with a factory set of strings and a factory wrapping and tuning. And overall, when I'm looking at them, I don't see any real discrepancies. Maybe on one of the G strings there a little bit. It could have been pulled back a hair more. I don't want to mess with it right now and then ruin the video. But you get what I'm saying. It's fairly well done. So things to consider if you're going to buy one of these. 12 strings, going to cost twice as much, take you twice as long. So consider having a professional or a friend that knows how to do it, put them in. Otherwise, this thing's going to sound like any other full body guitar. Now, if you're looking at a 12 string and you're thinking you want to get one that's already electrified, beware. Beware of a lot of acoustic 6-string and 12 strings that are already electrified. Have the cutaway so you can play solos and stuff, right? That massively affects the sound. That is the number one thing. That is why I wanted this, and then I wanted the piezo, etc., which now I have. So it's awesome. But overall, I'm going to just play a little here. Again, I'm new at playing 12-string. I normally play 6-string electric. The strings are way thinner, easier to maneuver. I'll use my pick on the other hand. So D major pentatonic. D major. A B minor. It's already slightly going out of tune, which you can hear now. But I will say, for the most part, and I did make a video before this, so maybe I should have tuned it a second, a third time, but It has stayed in tune. Again, it's going to be the temperature of room that's going to affect it the most. But when I'm tuning it, obviously there's the really quick way of tuning a guitar, which isn't a great way. It works when the strings are newer, obviously loosening up the string quite a bit to get the sound, but it is a dead giveaway to figure out if the two strings are harmonically, buzzing or not. Which I hear some dissonance now in D major. Whatever. Overall, I give this thing like, an 8 out of 10 for sound. I think it could sound better, of course, probably with higher quality strings, but that's about it. Pick one up, check it out. It's a pretty good looking guitar. Again, it's under 300 bucks. Add the piezo. So I'm going to go ahead and do the piezo electric test too for you, if you can bear with me for one more moment, please. Thank you. So, and then again, like I said, if you want to see that, you can get that piezo pickup there for 10 bucks. It's not great, but it's decent. And then it just screws in down here. Again, do what you want. A lot of people, that's why they like acoustic instruments, is because it's already taken care of. Now we're gonna... I think it's going out of tune now, sadly. Anybody know that song? It's real basic. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Less than 300 bucks. You can electrify for 10 bucks, although this is probably more of an issue with my cord over here. My cord, I stepped on it earlier, so I'm an idiot. I can admit to being an idiot sometimes. Yeah, check it out. I think the thing's fun. But again, just do yourself a huge favor and recognize that playing a 12 string does not feel, it's like a 6 string, but it's a whole different game. So whether or not, this Epiphone 12 string or any 12 string is going to be right for you, first, spend a good 45 minutes at Guitar Center or wherever and play one. Play a good one, play a budget one, play a lower budget one, and then make a decision. You'll come to the conclusion, I think, that I probably did, that if you really, really want one, it doesn't have to be super expensive, because again, a lot of guitar playing does come down to the player. And like I said, I am a beginner 12 string. It can be, it can be done. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if this helped you. Have a great day.